All right, as always, I'm both excited for the playoffs and I'm sad because the Week 17 post-podcast means that the season is now over. Everything's over, including your season's over as a Cowboys fan. My season feels like it's headed toward being over as a Patriots fan. And then also we're just getting shellacked in gambling. So we're ready. I've never felt better about Week 18. Let's go.
We're not doing anything right, it turns out. We're supposed to get smarter as the year goes along. But
I know. It's embarrassing.
Not happening.
Let's start on a positive note. We're taping this right after a really great Niners-Seahawks game.
Yeah.
That had everything you'd ever want from a Sunday night. And Michaels and Collinsworth really wanted it too. Even when it seemed like Seattle had a chance of either getting blown out or just not being in the game. Michaels was bringing his A game. He really wanted it. And it all led to this topsy-turvy fourth quarter. Those teams are both really good. It felt like Seattle, even though they lost, it's kind of a win because they get to play the Eagles, right?
Yeah, usually going on the road for an extra game is a huge, huge deal. And it's like, well, it's not, that's much less of a chance of you getting to the finals. And yeah, I guess odds-wise it would show and that, you want to rest some of your players. But Seattle's just better on the road anyway. I mean, they came on late in the second half, played like old Seattle Seahawks football right there, old Russell Wilson, but they're just better. They're 4-4 at home and 7-1 on the road.
Right.
I don't mind them on the road making their way. This could be a rematch in 2 weeks. Right?
Wait, did I misunderstand this? Because I thought they were playing in round one no matter what happened in that game. I thought they're going to be. I thought Seattle was a 3 seed if they won that game and a 5 seed.
Oh
if
yes,
they lost.
right. Yeah, they were playing in round one. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
So, okay. So would you rather play Minnesota at home or go to Philly and play this Eagles team that basically it's the entire second string with 2 guys and Carson Wentz?
I guess you want to play on the road. It's a tough thing because everyone on the team would say they'd rather play at home. They wouldn't want to pick a team over another. But matchup wise, yeah, it's probably Seattle at Philly. They already beat them. It's a long travel though. I don't know. I might say home.
Well, the other thing, if they're the 4 seed, assuming New Orleans beats Minnesota, then Seattle wins.
Right.
Then Seattle plays San Francisco again.
Right. Well, that's what's going to happen now. Yeah.
Right. Which I think I would probably rather do that in round 2 than any of the other choices because those teams know each other so well. They're so evenly matched. It felt like they never really totally tapped into the Lynch thing today.
Yeah.
And he was coming on. And then the third down, that pass interference that they didn't call on Hollister.
Yeah.
Where it seemed like it was all setting up for 12 seconds left, first down from the 1, goal to go, basically for the game. You knew they were going to give it to Marshawn. And that would have been probably the most exciting moment of the year, honestly.
I tweeted that I think Pete Carroll was secretly relieved that they took the false start penalty and marched him back 5 yards. He can't afford another colossal botch up from the 1 yard line or the 2 yard line. So they took him back a little. But yeah, let's go back. First of all, they're playing with a backup tackle, a backup center, a third string tight end. Clowney is not 100%. Griffin's not 100%. He's out most of the time. You got Marshawn Lynch. You don't know what you're getting out of him. And it really didn't seem like Russell Wilson was comfortable with any of that in the first half. Like it really seemed like gun shy. And they weren't blocking was the other thing. And San Francisco was just way physical and had their way with them. But towards the end, I think that's a pass interference. But I also think that crazy personal foul call gave them the ball back a second time. That
was bad.
And we talk about the 12th man. That could be a way the 12th man makes a difference. It really could. If it's so loud that the blocking linemen come up and can't hear that the play behind them is done, you really could bait the guy into hitting you, if you're a D-back or something.
It's a really bad job by the ref because with 3 minutes left, I really doubt that an offensive lineman is just going to go out of his way 5 seconds after the whistle to just keep hitting somebody and take out their knees. Like the ref should kind of know the situation and how loud it is. But yeah, it all led to, it seemed like for a second, I thought they were going to review the Hollister pass interference because they can actually review that in the last 2 minutes.
And if they don't, what's it for, right?
Yeah, why not? But if it had been Lynch from the 1 yard line with everybody wanting it, and then Carroll calling the exact same play from Super Bowl 49, that would have been the most hilarious football moment of the year.
Yeah, it may have.
The slant pass, maybe they get it right this time, and it's like, look at that. Yeah, see, we did call the right play.
Yep.
They're a really resilient team, and I wish my team had the same resilience that I saw
right
for the
before
Seahawks.
we talk about that, and I'm glad to, but
no, I don't want to. Can we not?
I know you don't.
I really
that
don't.
game. So aside from a winner, so San Francisco's giving anywhere between 2.5 and 3.5 points, probably 3.5 most of the week, wherever you got them, if you gamble on it. So that is a huge drive in itself. And then even after they're out on downs by a 3 inches, I'm not stretching the ball into the end zone. San Francisco might take a safety there, which brings it to 26-23, and then you either push or lose or something if you have San Francisco. But because there was 9 seconds left, Jimmy G forges forward and gets a yard or a quarter of a yard or whatever, enough to run the clock out. Unbelievable gambling moment, too.
We were on a text thread with Hench and Damashek, and I threw out all the right moves, and it just bounced off everybody. Nobody even blinked.
No, it's true.
I was really ready for at least like 5 or 6 texts about all the right moves, but no. But yeah, that was the all the right move situation, right? The unbelievable defensive stand. Mm-hmm. They're on their own one, and then Rifleman hands off to whoever that Polish kid was. He fumbles it. The other team scores. They lose. And in this one, they did the Quickie Brady QB sneak.
Yeah,
which was great. And
all
it
right,
worked.
as long as
and they covered.
Let's talk about them.
And they cover the basically every version of whatever a Niners bet would have been, right?
Right.
Because that line I think crept up. Did it ever creep up to 4? I think it did.
I didn't see a lot.
3.5 to 4.
3.5 was a lot though.
Well, it was a tough one for Pats fans to have Jimmy G looking good on a Sunday night, considering we traded him away for a 2nd round pick. I don't even remember who we got. Who do we get, Kyle? Kyle's really down in the dumps. I'm worried about Kyle.
I think Kyle got like a sedan from CarMax out of the deal. Out of the Jimmy G deal.
Kyle got a hearse. Yeah, I mean, Belichick's probably watching this game on Sunday night going, yeah, this was my whole plan was for Brady was going to retire after the Eagles Super Bowl season, and then pass the torch to Jimmy G, and we were just going to keep going. And now I have a 42-year-old quarterback with no receivers.
What % blame do you lay on Belichick for this game?
I thought the coaching was atrocious.
Yeah,
and look, the Pats are always smarter than everybody else. Usually, today they were not. Today they were outcoached by a former Pats assistant, Brian Flores, who will not get Coach of the Year. But if we were talking about Coach of the Year candidates, I think he would have to be in the top 4, right?
I think we should maybe rethink it. I mean, we had Tomlin penciled in, but then I saw it's 20 straight games that the Steelers haven't scored 30 points.
Yeah, Tomlin's not
entirely his fault, but that's a long stretch.
Tomlin blew it.
Yeah.
I think the Green Bay coach has to be in consideration. I don't know how that team went 13-3. Every week I watched them, they either played a terrible second half or a terrible first half.
And they haven't lost in 5 weeks. You talk about like Saints looking better or Niners looking better. Those teams lost more recently to Atlanta. Like Packers kind of in a groove. They win ugly and no one likes it, but they're kind of in a groove.
Yeah, the case for Brian Flores is that team, first 3 weeks of the season, we were having debates about whether this was going to be the worst football team of all time. And then they make the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. They traded Tunsil before the season. And it seemed like they were going to try to usher in the first ever legitimate, we are trying to tank NBA style type of performance. And the second half of the year, they became one of the feel-good stories of the league.
Yeah.
We beat them by 40 points.
Every game. They like almost every game after September. They really did. And for a defense that, I think they were the only defense that allowed over 30 points a game. They were fun. They were like Tampa, although I guess they're both East. They're both in Florida, right? So
yeah,
they're the AFC Tampa.
Well, it's not like they had a ton of weapons.
No.
Like it was basically Parker, the tight end who's pretty good. Then it was just random running backs. They had a couple wide receivers make play. I could never keep track of who was who.
Yeah.
And then Fitzpatrick, who is definitely had the weirdest career of any quarterback, I would say, the last 15 years, right?
And this being his greatest day of that career.
Yeah, you would think, right? He was
I think so.
He was serenely confident
Yeah.
to the point that as they were driving down, I was just assuming they were going to score.
Mhm.
And this is this team that we thought might have the best defense in recent memory the first 8 weeks of the season. Now by week 17, I'm hoping the Dolphins can score fast enough so we can get the ball back.
Right.
What the hell happened? What happened to my Pats season? I don't know.
I think, is it possible that defense just is exhausted? They just played so hard and out of their minds. And now Stephon Gilmore doesn't know what to do against Devontae Parker, who was a good receiver. And by the way, really came through after signing a $40 million deal. It really inspired him. That's not usually how it works in sports. But they just looked like, a little better than average. They definitely should have scored on the Dolphins. Like I said, one of the worst defensive teams. But is it possible they just overworked and just 2 games too long?
I thought Miami came in with a specific plan to actually go after Gilmore, which most teams were afraid to do all year. They felt like they had an advantage with Parker for whatever reason. I never would have thought that before the game, but he basically, Gilmore can't win Defensive Player of the Year now because he was terrible in that game. And it was hard to imagine a defensive back winning that award anyway. But now after that, I'm not sure he can win.
He was favored going into the week, but yeah, Chandler was right there. There were a few guys right up there.
And then they attacked Chung, which was smart because Chung, I don't think has been the same since he got hurt earlier in the year. And then our pass rush, Fitzpatrick he kept kind of creating ways to create another 2-3 seconds here or there. They had no run game to speak of. And on the other side, it felt like the Pats could run on them for 5-7 yards whenever they wanted. And they always got into trouble when they stopped running, but it was a really discouraging game.
That should have been the get well. I don't care who he's throwing to. I know you're going to make that. I know you tweeted that all the receivers suck and everything, but guess what? Carson Wentz had 4,000 yards and threw to, his top 3 guys were hurt, and they just brought guys like G. Ward in.
Right.
I don't know who else. So,
but the thing is, Brady, he actually, he threw for 4,000 yards too, and he actually put up half decent stats in this game. To me, it was more, doesn't seem like he's on the same page with any of these guys.
Yeah.
They don't have the ability, I think, because he just doesn't trust the people around him to go no huddle anymore. And, to kind of change the pace depending on the quarter.
Right.
It doesn't seem like he feels like he can do that anymore. So they've become really predictable. Edelman is a shell of himself. I'm convinced like he's hiding some major injury because he doesn't look like himself anymore. And then the tight end position is just a non-entity for them. And then, you would have thought James White would have had like 15 catches today at 3. So I don't know what they're doing, but from a Brady standpoint, he just has a lot of bad throws. I know the stats add up, and if you look at the totality and you can blame the receivers and he's not familiar with Sanu and Sanu's not playing well, you go through all the things, but the throws just don't look good, especially in the first hour of the game, as we've talked about over and over again.
Yeah.
He misses throws. He makes bad throws. The balls hang up in the air too much. There's a lot of uncatchable balls, and he just doesn't look the same. I don't think he looks bad, but I don't think at this point, as a 42-year-old guy, he can kind of carry an offense and get a team like the team he has to 30 points when they need it.
No, but
and by the way, Wentz can't either.
Right. Well, we'll see what Wentz does. That team has a weird mystique about him. And guess what? The Patriots still do too. And, if Fitzpatrick doesn't drive 80 yards on them, you win your 10th.
Right.
You get your 10th bye in a row,
And people talk about what a scare it was. Oh, my God. Well, they actually scored. But the thing is, that's why it was such a terrible loss. They had the lead with 4 minutes left, and Miami had to go 80 yards, and they're fucking Miami. And they went 80 yards easily. It's terrible. Yeah. Your team, you blew it last week, but then you had I call it the Game 7 1986 World Series scenario, where you're dead. You've been pronounced dead, but you're not dead yet. The family's still in the hospital room with you.
Yeah.
You're like, maybe he'll wake up. And there's possible signs of life. And then the Giants tie it. Barkley busts one, and you're killing Washington. You're feeling good. And then you die again.
Right.
Brutal.
Daniel Jones turns it over, and I'm like, oh, I'm mad. And I'm like, what am I mad about? What's wrong here? I don't want any chance of Jason Garrett coming back. Jason Garrett in the press conference, it so perfectly put it. He said, well, it was out of our hands. The whole thing was out of our hands. All right. I think it was in your hands the first 16 weeks, though, right? We could say that. It's not like they randomly decide who gets to go to the playoffs in week 17, depending on if you lose or not. But hey, 47 points, man. Take that. I love it. That's all that matters. Most points last week, right?
Poor Aikman. They're like, Troy, we got you to another Dallas game. He's like, really? Ken, is there any other game? He's like, no, there's not really a great NFC game unless you want to do Philly Giants.
Right.
All right. Well, the Philly, guys were getting injured during that game. They had already passed the crazy injury point, I would say 5 weeks ago. And what was their Pro Bowl guard, all of a sudden he's getting carried off. He's on a cart. I've never seen anything like it. I really respect Wentz. Great job by him.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure on him, and I don't think you were either, right?
No, for sure not. And, especially like but the bottom line is the Giants weren't going to do the Cowboys any favors. They may have gotten close and said, oh, wait, no, we hate this team more than we hate the Eagles, so we got to back off a little bit. But no, all kidding aside, he went in there in the rain. He knew the Giants almost beat him the first time. Not an easy game. Only like a 4.5, 5-point favorite, depending on where you get it. And they kicked the crap out of him when they needed to. It was close, and then they opened it up. They could be a little bit of a threat. I think we thought, we're going to go over the lines in a minute. I think we thought like the 5 seed, whoever comes out of the West in the wild card is going to be a 7-point favorite, and it's going to be easy. Not so sure.
Well, Landon Roberts was second in receiving yards for the Pats today. I don't think I could feel worse. And it actually might be our most potent offensive player if Edelman's hurt.
You could have had the bye.
Could have had the bye.
So close.
I tweeted out earlier today how Roberts had as many TDs this season as Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon.
Wow.
But he had one more than Sony Michel, Ben Watson, and Rex Burkhead, and one less than N'Keal Harry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been that kind of season. And
you need a good quarterback.
The Patriots fan base is in complete tumult right now because half the people are blaming Belichick and the other half are blaming Brady and just with the dynasty. And this was going to happen. And
can I predict what's going to happen here? You're really
they're
going
to win round
team.
2. I don't think they're very good. I didn't think they were even. I thought they were going to either lose to Buffalo or win by 3 last week, and they won by 7.
They're probably not long for the finals or the Final Four even, but they put them at the night game. This is the first time 2 AFC teams are playing in the same game in a long time. 2 AFC plays Saturday, NFC plays Sunday because they wanted to put the Patriots at night because they might not have the chance next Saturday night. So
that's official.
Gain confidence as the week goes on. You're going to gain so much confidence, and your Pats are going to be in everything, every money line parlay, every straight bet, everything. You'll see what happens.
So they put the 2 AFC teams on Saturday and the other NFC games are Sunday?
Right. So the Shakey's Bowl, Buffalo at Houston, is the early game Saturday, and then at night, Tennessee at New England.
I told you that there was no way Buffalo-Houston wasn't going to be the early Saturday game.
But
no matter what they were going to do.
I was like, they'd love putting the Patriots at night. How are they going to do? They can't put both AFC and Saturday, and they did it. I don't remember that in a while.
Well, and then on top of everything, they have to play this Tennessee team.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Well, we have a whole bunch of other stuff to cover. Let's talk about Crown Royal. They launched the first off-the-field water break last year to encourage fans of the game to moderate and hydrate to stay in the game. Whether you're watching in the stadium, watching at home, or in a bar, have a great time, enjoy some Crown. Don't be that person that ruins it for everyone. Make the right call, take a water break. Sal, who made the right call this week or not?
All right. So, I have a right call and a wrong call, and I'm going off the NFL board. It's a game you watched, a college game, Clemson, Ohio State. I'll admit there's a little sour grapes because I picked Ohio State to win, and I backed it with a lot of money. And Ohio State's up 16-0. They blow the lead. And then, so Clemson catches a pass. Justin Ross. He fumbles it. Jordan Fuller on Ohio State scoops it and scores. They take the lead 23-21. They review the catch. Now on the field, they called it a catch. Everything's great. All the elements are there. They overturn it on the field. I say good call by the ref, bad call by whatever idiot in New York is looking at this. Again, it's sour grapes. Ohio State had 2 shots. They punted on 4th and 4 at the 39-yard line, and then Fields throws an interception in the end. It's their fault they lost, but this is terrible. I mean, this football move has to go. The football move was there. First of all, you're on the football field. Anything you do is a football move. That's it. Okay. If you start squeezing groceries in the produce aisle, that's a produce move. Sorry, that you're on the football field. That's it. And also, he raised the ball so as to not get it stripped. That's a football move too. I just don't understand why possession and steps doesn't equal a catch. So good move by the refs, bad move by the overrule.
That's a good one. My Ray call this week, Bruce Arians. Game goes into overtime. He's playing Atlanta. Neither team is heading to the playoffs. Neither team even has a chance to be above 500 for the year. He's 68 years old. He can't watch Jameis Winston anymore. And he's like, how can I make this game end fast enough? I'm gonna receive the ball and I'm gonna call a quick out to Jameis, and hopefully he'll throw a pick six and put us all out of our misery.
You think
and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. I think he had a master plan. Bruce Arians, you get my great call of the week. Crown Royal reminds everyone this football season to take a water break and moderate to stay in the game. So we've been on this Jameis thing for like 2 months.
Love it.
I don't remember the first time we talked about the possibility of a 30-30 season for him, but it's been a running joke with us for weeks. And it kind of became it was on everyone's radar this whole week that he needed 2 more to get it. And then it didn't seem like it was going to happen. And then finally it happened. Not only did it happen, he threw his 7th pick six, which is also a new record. Mm-hmm. So he made history all over the place. Not to mention he threw for over 5,100 yards. And I have no idea what I would do if I was Tampa. Like,
what do you mean you have no idea?
Like,
it's so exciting.
I know he's exciting, but if my goal is to actually try to make the playoffs and win playoff games, I'm not sure he could be my quarterback. He threw.
Oh, no. You have to sign him. You have to. This is, I'm trying to think of what it's like. It's like having a dog, like having like a basset hound who excels at ultimate frisbee, but also shits on the neighbor's lawn like all day long. You know, you got to take it's such an interaction. I mean, would Michael Jordan, would he play for that minor league team? What was it? The Barons? They'd still have him playing, right? It's a great attraction. You got to get fans there. It's an exciting team. You got Shaq Barrett. He had 19 and a half sacks. I think he led the league. And Jameis, are you kidding me? You have to re-sign that guy.
So you think like their slogan for 2020 would be like, Jameis, shit is going to happen.
Yes. Yes, I think
good shit, bad shit. It's going to be shit.
Yeah.
So I think the 30 interceptions, when you look at the landscape of just how few interceptions we have now in football, like we had Brady finished with 8. Wentz had 7 going into the last game. I don't know how many he ended up with. Rodgers, I think, did he have 1 today? He had 3 heading into that game. But you're talking about half of the league starting quarterbacks are in single digits for interceptions. And Jameis threw 30. He threw 7 pick sixes. He threw more pick sixes than some quarterbacks threw interceptions for the whole year. So I don't know how you can bring him back.
It would make sense if he himself were blocking for the guy who intercepted the ball. Like, how do all those get returned? Like, I still don't understand it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the way he ended the game was so good. I mean, Game of Thrones, take a look. Take a look. Lost, Game of Thrones. Take a look at how you end the season. That's how you do it. That is a season finale right there. We need to call out something. The pick six to end the season on a pick six. I don't know what. Maybe we need to come up with a name. Pick 6 feet under something. I don't know.
Pick 6 under.
Yeah. So good.
I don't know if Brady's leaving the Pats after this year. It certainly wouldn't surprise me. I was thinking Tampa would be a good team for him. If he wanted to play the card of, I just want to have good receivers and a veteran coach, and I just want to air it out for like 2 more years. Because Perriman, I think they have to re-sign Perriman, but I thought he was really good for them the second half of the year.
I don't know what they do. I mean, he had 5,109 yards, Jameis. Did it seem like Mike Evans had 1,000 to 1,500? Like, I don't know where all these yards came from.
I have a new home for Jameis because I actually think Tampa's too small of a city for him.
Why don't you take him? New England. That's a good trade.
No, I have it better. The LA Chargers.
Oh, interesting.
They need some sort of attraction. They're moving into this new stadium. They can't sell any seat licenses. They have to get rid of Rivers. Rivers is done. They have no identity whatsoever, nor will they. How do you have an identity? You're the team that has Jameis Winston, the most exciting week-to-week quarterback in the league other than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
We have a guy who can win or lose every 5 minutes, depending on what's happening. You can't take your eyes off this guy. He's on our team. He's on the LA Chargers. Here he is.
That's pretty good.
That should be their guy, right? Put him with Eckler and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. That's a really fun team.
I think it's fun.
We would go to an LA Chargers game if Jameis was the quarterback.
We probably would, but the other thing is they don't take advantage of Rivers either. Like Rivers, he's a different kind of disaster than Jameis, but
he's more
talking
sad
to himself on the sidelines all the time. He should be mic'd up for the stadium to hear throughout the 3-hour game. Like that's it. That's how you get people to go. That's hilarious if you do that.
Well, I hope Rivers, I would much rather see him retire than find another team because as we've discussed before, I think he could be a really good TV guy. I think he has sneaky high TV potential as either a Monday Night Football guy or I don't care about the studio show as much because I don't watch the studio shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be more excited if he was on like Fantasy Football Now, just as Stefania Bell and Matthew Berry are talking about like who's the QB7 this week. Just how amused he'd be by all of it. But
I don't think he could do Monday Night Football though. The bar is very, very high there. Very high.
By the way, a lot of people seem to think that Tessitore has toned it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that it's like when Garrett stopped clapping. Maybe we could take a small victory in that we've made so many jokes. Maybe somebody told him or something.
He may have, but the other thing is I sent you a video. I don't know who was doing the game, the Giants-Eagles game. Was it Ian Eagle? I don't know who it was, but whenever Boston Scott carries the ball, everyone goes crazy.
Yeah, well, you said it in the text. It's a very fun name to say.
Yeah, it must. Yeah.
Boston Scott.
That is Boston Scott. It's like really weird movie type endings.
Are we getting Tessitore on Saturday?
I don't know that we are. I did get some notes from some fans in Australia who are bummed that they're getting Tessitore and Booger for the Super Bowl. They already know that they must be doing the foreign games at LA's, the English speaking.
They're doing the Australian Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Australian Super Bowl.
Oh, ESPN should put that on the app. I'd probably tune in if the game was a blowout. The Phil Rivers thing really quickly. Do you know what his career record was? I looked it up. It's one of those careers that felt more substantial than it actually was. Mm-hmm. All due respect to Phil. He was 123 and 100 for his career.
Mm-hmm.
He was 5-6 in the playoffs. Can you guess how many AFC title games he played in?
2, 1?
He played in 1. He lost to the 2007 Pats.
Right.
When he heroically played in an AFC with a torn ACL.
Oh, right.
2-1 TD interception. Now he's the signature quarterback on this franchise that then left its city.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a bummer. Like, if you're talking mid-2000s, it was Rivers, Eli, Roethlisberger, and Breeze was like the new wave, right?
Right.
Eli wins 2 Super Bowls and becomes the most polarizing Hall of Fame case of all time. Roethlisberger wins 2 Super Bowls. Breeze becomes one of, even if the NFL 100 didn't think so, one of the 10 or 12 best quarterbacks ever.
Sure.
And Rivers just kind of was there and had a pretty good career. And I think we all really respected him and he won some games, but not a lot to remember. Kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, and Eli's going to make the Hall of Fame. I compare him to Eli because he's on his way out too, apparently. So 20 games better than Eli, right? 20 over 500? Is that what he is?
Yeah, and I think you can make the case that if they just switched teams, he probably would have had similar success, maybe.
I think if you switch teams, probably neither of them does anything. It's weird.
Well, the funny thing is they should have switched teams because San Diego was going to draft Eli.
Absolutely.
Remember? And that led to the whole trade and all that. But yeah, it's weird. I felt like Rivers was a bigger figure these last 15 years than I think the record would suggest. I'll be interested to see if he's a Hall of Fame case because my gut reaction would be like, oh yeah, of course he's a Hall of Famer. But then you actually think about his career in context against the other QB peers that he had and the lack of playoff success and stuff like that. And the fact that the last part of his career he really didn't age that well in a league where quarterbacks have aged really well.
Right.
And for whatever reason, he hasn't. So I don't know. I don't know what happens to him, but
you know what's strange? He needed to go a little further, I think, in the playoffs, because that's the big thing. I know as a
need
Romo
one
guy,
run.
I'm told over and over that he didn't go far enough in the playoffs, didn't get to the playoffs enough. But I look at last year, and this is a big game because I'm not going to ruin it. We put our guesses in for the spreads already, but this was a similar thing. Last year, the Chargers came off a road win against the Ravens. Now, that wasn't the 2019 Lamar Jackson Ravens, but they had the road win in the playoffs. They went to Foxborough. A lot of people thought they were the better team, and they were getting a similar number of points. I won't pinpoint it, as Tennessee is this Saturday night.
Yep.
And this is why I think you're going to turn. You're going to be like, no, Patriots laid the smackdown. That's what's going to happen. But had he won that game, I almost think that might have been enough to push him over.
Yeah, and I think the difference with that Chargers team last year and why I eventually talked myself into the Pats on this Tennessee team is I was never sold on the coaching side of the San Diego. The Belichick versus Anthony Lynn and his coaching staff, I just felt like that was a major advantage for us. I think Tennessee is really well coached. And you could make a case that if they had just played Tannehill the whole year, that might have been an 11-win team.
Right.
You know, Henry's is there any running back you would take over Henry?
Don't even talk to me about it. I had Chubb. I had a couple $100 on Chubb at 9 to win the 9-1.
Oh, Jesus. Title. Against the Bengals, too, week 17.
Oh, crap.
He had
the Bengals treated it like it was their Super Bowl. Titans are playing a backup Texans team. I don't even want to discuss it.
Well, you know what we can discuss? It's the end of the Freddie Kitchens era already.
I know. That's sad, too. Like, I found that out within 45 seconds of the Cowboys season officially ending. I was like, I can't take this 1-2 punch. I love Freddie Kitchens. I love him almost as much as Jameis. I don't know if I'd be able to choose between the two. Well, now I don't have to.
You're going to love him even more when you replace Todd Furman on your show. And he's in the third square.
I would love that.
You and Clay and Freddie. Freddie just being confused. It's his turn to make a pick, but a minute runs off and he doesn't realize that he was up. Then it goes to commercial as he starts making his pick. It'll be great.
He wears a stupid, ironic T-shirt every day, a different one, and we have to laugh. I could deal with that.
Let me ask you who your favorite Browns coach of the decade was. So the Browns were 42 and 118 this decade. Here are your nominees. Eric Mangini, he coached in 2010.
Yeah.
The immortal Pat Shurmur, 2011 and 12. Rob Chudzinski, 2013. Mike Pettin, was it Pettin or Petin?
Pettin.
Mike Pettin, 2014 and 15. Hugh Jackson, put in 3 years or 2.5 years. Greg Williams or Freddie Kitchens. Those are your 7 nominees.
Hugh. We had a lot of fun with Hugh, right?
How would you power rank these?
It's tough, but I put Freddie. I think I was such untapped talent. I thought we missed out so much with Freddie. He needed one more year. Not that he was going to do anything for this team, wins-wise, but
so you say
we would have enjoyed him so much more.
For our enjoyment, Freddie was the most fun.
Freddie was Freddie could have done like Bobby Valentine stuff thing, like he'd get thrown out of a game and come back with a disguise. I think he had so much in him that was untapped.
I liked Freddie's reactions as his wide receivers were yelling at him during random games, where he just had this amused look, like when my son is flipping out when I'm playing Madden with him.
Right.
And I'm just kind of amused. I don't feel physically threatened, even though it feels like I should be because I have this little tiny person screaming at me.
Right.
That's how he carried himself, I felt like, with Beckham and Landry.
Yeah.
I think Kitchens was the runner-up comedy MVP because it's recency bias. Nobody was funnier than Hugh Jackson.
I guess so.
Hugh Jackson was the best. Hugh Jackson's Hard Knocks was iconic. He's still the funniiest one. And I would put Mangini third because Mangini was Fredo. He went against Michael Corleone and it backfired on him.
I think you might be right about Kitchens. Mangini and Hugh Jackson make FS1 appearances every now and then. So I think that's where they land, all of them.
They have an understanding with the Browns. Next time you fire your coach, send him here.
What about the owner, though? This is 5 coaches in 8 years. But maybe,
it's 6 because he inherited Shurmur.
Yeah.
And plus, like, how many different front offices has he had? He's had at least 5.
Right. Enough.
And then he allowed Costner to film Draft Day and use the Browns.
Oh, right.
Which was like, of course, that was going to backfire.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
He might be my favorite owner. We should do those power ratings. So many good ones.
The Browns had a bad decade last decade.
Mm-hmm.
And this decade was like way worse. 42 and 118. Mm-hmm. This is why I should never complain about the Patriots.
Well, and here's the other thing. I can make fun of the Browns, but that coach that I want let go, every time I feel bad for him, 7 years this decade, we didn't make the playoffs. Jason Garrett. So
7 years you didn't make the playoffs?
7 out of the 10. Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know what to tell you about the Jason Garrett thing. We've talked about it all decade. You were out on him probably 2014.
Yeah.
And you had him for another 5 years.
He did a weird thing where he won a game at the Giants with the backup quarterback, and that somehow added like 6 years to his deal. I don't know.
I'm going to give you 2 quarterbacks right now. Mm-hmm. One quarterback in his last 9 games threw for 2,611 yards, 15 TDs, and 6 picks. The other quarterback threw for 2,065 yards, 13 TDs, and 4 picks. One of those 2 QBs is Tom Brady, and the other is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Wow.
Who threw for less yards?
All right, well, I mean, you're setting me up. So the shittier one was Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Fitz threw for 550 yards more than him and more touchdowns.
Right.
And it's not like he had more weapons. I mean, I guess maybe their schedule is a little bit easier.
Not afraid to sling it, and neither is Tannehill. That's one good thing. It'd be, some of these teams going to Foxborough and they're half beaten. But
well, so if you're a Dolphins fan, are you furious about this Tannehill thing, or are you furious that he's good now, or are you furious that you had a good quarterback, but everybody else was so incompetent that you fucked it up?
Yeah, probably the second one. I don't know. You can only be so mad because they've seen it happen before with everybody. But I don't think, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you have 2 Dolphins quarterbacks you could lose to in 2 weeks. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, my God.
This is getting good.
Do you know that he led the league in quarterback rating?
Yeah, I know. I did a whole thing on that. I hate quarterback rating. If you look at some of these guys in quarterback, like Josh Allen is 17th in quarterback rating. I'd much rather have him than a lot of the guys in the top.
Kirk
4.
Cousins is 4th. That probably invalidates a lot of it. Although Kirk Cousins, ended up with decent stats, as he always does. That's why, thank God we have the eye test. Mm-hmm. Thank God we have all the people that actually watch football.
Well, how happy is Cousins at that? Because that was going to be the Saturday game. Cousins at New Orleans. I mean, he shits the bed at night. I don't know what it is with him. Very strange.
We had one of the many terrible bets that I made today, or betting decisions. You really like the Lions. Mm-hmm. You thought the Lions-Packers game looked fishy.
Yeah.
You thought something didn't smell right with it to you. So we decided to do a Lions-Panthers underdog bet. Me, you, and House. It was 48-1.
Yeah.
We're like, this will be fun. We just sprinkled a little on it. The Lions score right away. And it's like, this is great. And then it's like, let's go to New Orleans where the Saints have scored again. It's 14-0. Will Greer, who they just basically threw to the Lions, not the Detroit Lions. Yeah, he's just looked under siege for 4 or 5 weeks, and just gets the shit kicked out of him and looks terrible. And then they bring in Kyle Allen, who they had already decided wasn't the guy. That's always I like when that happens with football, where it would be like if you got rid of your wife and you dated somebody for 5 weeks, and then you're like, "All right, honey, come on back." Mm-hmm. You're like, "Wait, what? You just got rid of me?"
Right.
That's Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
So
Kyle,
he's back.
Nephew Kyle, we're going to have to cut this from the podcast. too close to home.
So anyway,
I know what you're saying.
Anyway, the Panthers get killed, then we lose that bet. But yeah, you were on the whole Lions thing.
I just, what's funny? I looked at your tweet this morning, and it's so ironic. It's like, it's something to the effect of, "I'm so ready for a topsy-turvy NFC today. Something, I'm prepared for anything." And I was like, oh my God, it was your team.
Yeah, it was my team.
16.5-point favorite in the AFC that lost.
It was the second biggest upset of the last, 25 years?
Yeah.
So at least we had honor. So I lost because I did the classic thing that we do all the time, where when we want to narrow somebody's odds a little bit, we throw in huge favorites and we know they're going to win. It was like, of course, the Patriots are going to win.
Right.
They're playing for a bye week. They're playing Miami. They're 15.5-point favorites. We'll throw in that minus 1,400, put that in with the Chiefs, and then the Celtics on Friday. And then that moved to Tennessee, allowed us to do the Tennessee money line. Tennessee was my favorite game of the day. And somehow I didn't even bet it straight up. Had them tied to the fucking Pats and just get kicked in the teeth.
Tennessee, that line went from 3 to 5 to 7 to 9. I think it kicked off at 10 as you saw more and more players. And then Kansas City won, so it didn't matter for the Texans weren't catching the Patriots, right? So you weren't going to see Watson, you weren't going to see Hopkins, any of those guys, and they took care of business.
Well, that was my lesson to take forward to next year, is that we knew on Monday that Tennessee line was wrong. We knew that Houston was like, no, they're playing their starters. And then we looked at it. We looked at all the variations, and it was like, if the Pats win and the Chiefs win, there's absolutely no way Houston can move out of the 4 seed. Why would they play their starters? This makes no sense. And then, of course, comes to late last night, all of a sudden it's like, oh, Houston might bench their starters. The line starts moving, ends up 7.5 this morning, climbs all the way to 10. And we had it at 3 for 2 days.
Yeah.
We knew they weren't going to play their starters. So let's file that away for next year.
But it was also contingent on Kansas City's win, which was easy enough, although the Chargers were a little bit friskier than I would have liked. But
yeah, there was a moment where it started to look like Phil Rivers' last hurrah.
Yeah.
But I think his last hurrah is going to be his 9th kid. That's how that's going to play.
One more kid?
Yeah. Let's take one more break. Let's take a break to talk about Google Assistant and the Ringer NBA show. What do those two have in common? Well, first of all, the Ringer NBA show is a really good show. We put up at least 4 episodes a week featuring a bunch of rotating Ringer hosts, as well as the Mismatch twice a week with Kevin O'Connor and Chris Vernon. I know those guys. So here's what this has to do with Google Assistant. If you like the NBA, if you like hearing people argue about the NBA and talk about the topical storylines as they're happening, well, you should tell the Google Assistant. In fact, you can tell the Google Assistant, hey, Google, play the Ringer NBA show podcast.
Okay, here's the latest episode of the Ringer NBA show. The Lakers come up short again against the Clippers. Plus, Rockets falter. Carlisle calls the post extinct. The mismatch.
Hey, Google, pause the Ringer NBA show podcast. Oh, great. Thank you. Because right now we're about to head to an especially fun time of the season where we have All-Star coming. People argue about the All-Star starters and reserves for 2 solid weeks, and then nobody actually watches the game or cares about it. I really enjoy this part of the season. All right. Back to this podcast. All right. You wanted to talk about, before we do Guess the Lines, we did a bunch of predictions before the year. How did we do?
Yeah, there's this guy. We should thank this guy, Chris H. on Twitter at CP Haynes 78. He made some kind of crazy spreadsheet. We did AFC and NFC over-unders back in late August. It's interesting because it is kind of like we followed our conferences here. I went 10-6 in the NFC. You went 8-8. I think our worst pick was 49ers under 8.5. We both had that. And what was weird was, so I had Philadelphia to win the division. You had Dallas. You had Green Bay. I had Chicago. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I had New Orleans. You had Tampa.
Oh,
and we both
Tampa.
had the Rams. Thanks for nothing, Rams. Yep.
So we did terrible.
No first round pick till 2022, the Rams.
Yeah.
But 3 out of the 4 division winners were different in the NFC. 3 out of the 4 were the same in the AFC. So that was interesting. And for the AFC, you did better. You went 9-7, I think, and I went 7-9. We both had under. Oh, I had under. That was terrible with Baltimore. That was my worst pick. We both had New England to win the division. We won that. We both had Pittsburgh. That was killed when Big Ben went out. I had Houston. You had Indy, and we both had KC.
So we basically, we don't totally suck at this, but we're not good at it either.
Yeah, no. We're better in August than we are in, what is this now, December?
Yeah. Damn it. Well, the San Francisco thing, we saw a really bad Garoppolo preseason game and got freaked out.
Right.
Remember that? And we should file that one away for next year too, because that lousy preseason performance threw more people off their scent.
Yep.
And it completely flipped the narrative. They had been like, "Oh, here's the hot team. This is 2019 sleeper team." And he sucked in one game. People are like, "They're out. Fuck them. They're out. Division's too hard." So
they are so damn good, though. I mean, they were so physical in the first half, and they're fast as shit. And you got that Kyle Juszczyk, that fullback, I think he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. You look at Kittle, and he's He really is Gronk with a different jersey, right? He's wearing 85 and wearing the Niners jersey.
Yeah, I
Got
thought
all the excitement, all the everything Gronk has. And then you got the great play calling. They're a dynamite team.
I thought Gronk was the best tight end ever. When he retired, I was like, that's the best tight end I'm probably going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle is right on pace. And I thought Collinsworth made a really good point. It really doesn't seem like he thinks he can get tackled.
Right.
He's going through these dudes like he just assumes everybody who is going to bounce off him.
Yeah, he's really bummed when he gets taken down.
He's like, what? You tackled me? Yeah, he does have that vibe of, and which young Gronk definitely had too, of that kid who's too big to be in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, your 14-year-old cousin's in this game. It's just like us 9-year-olds. This isn't fun now. And he's just rolling through people. But the thing with the Niners, I really like them in the game today, which is ironic because they came within an inch of losing. But the speed is there. They have two receivers beyond Kittle that seem like they can get open when they need them. And then this rotating running back crew, and all the guys are fast and can do stuff. And as long as Jimmy doesn't throw the ball to the other team, it just seems like they can move the ball. I thought
today be good. I like the NFC because whether it's Wentz or Wilson, and let's say the Saints advance, that's a great Final Four. As far as quarterbacks, you're not going to get much better than that with Jimmy G and Russell Wilson and Rodgers and Breeze. That's phenomenal.
I actually think they're good enough that I was wondering if they were going to go for it after that stupid unnecessary roughness call when I think it ended up being 4th and 2 from the 30.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3, yeah.
And I was like, are they going to go for this? And if they went for it, I was like, they're going to get this.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought that they could get 3 yards if they absolutely needed it.
I'm confident in all their play calling. I really am.
Yeah, I think that's as we head into the 12-team playoffs. I think that's the best NFC team, don't you?
The best NFC team?
Yeah. If I had to pick one team, you're like, my life depends on it. I think I would pick the Niners.
I think so. Well,
who would
like
you
I
pick?
said, the Packers haven't lost in a while. It's been the longest for them. It's like 5 weeks. But I think they could get tripped up. Yeah, if San Francisco's home, I think that's the team. I really do.
So we have Super Bowl odds right now. The Ravens are plus 240.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some crazy end of the year Ravens stats. Have you seen some of these?
Some bets, you said?
No, that they had the best point differential since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970.
Yeah.
They had a better point differential than the 2007 Pats.
Mm.
And then I saw this too in a couple places. They're the first team that ever averaged 200 yards rushing and 200 yards passing per game in a season.
Wow.
They're a 200-200 team.
That's nuts.
So they broke the 1978 Patriots rushing record, which was we hadn't won a Super Bowl until 2001 or I guess February 2002. But the 1978 team rushing record was one of the things I really held on to in the pre-Brady Belichick dynasty. Was that we ran for like 30.
Like that? Now it's gone.
14 games. We ran for like 3,200 yards or something.
Well, maybe you'll have a chance to pay him back in 2 weeks.
Ravens are plus 240. Niners are plus 350. Chiefs 4-1. Saints 7-1. Packers 10-1. Patriots 15-1. Seahawks 22-1. Eagles 35-1. Vikings 40-1. Texans 45-1. Bills 55-1. I got to tell you, Titans at 60-1 is enticing.
Oh, come on.
It's enticing. It's a lot. Those are big odds.
So they have to beat Brady and Lamar Jackson and probably Mahomes.
So here's the recipe. I'm just going to make the case. They beat the Pats. They go to Baltimore for round 2. 7 degrees. Ugly, bruising, 13-10 type game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just try to hopefully run the ball. A.J. Brown makes one play. They pull one out. KC loses to whoever from the Houston-Buffalo thing. And they play one of those teams. That would be the road, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they could beat. It seems far-fetched to beat the Pats, Lamar, and Mahomes.
I just don't think the Ravens will lose their first game. I know. I wouldn't take them plus 240. The value is not there. I like the Chiefs. 3 weeks ago they were 8-1, and then they were 6-1. Now, what'd you say? They're 4-1.
Yeah, but Andy Reid's still their coach. I just want to tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I still not sold on their running backs. The thing is, They have so much speed that it does seem like one of those teams that you feel like you're beating them for 2.5 quarters. And then, the rookie returns some punt, or Tyreek Hill all of a sudden is an 80-yard catcher. And then all of a sudden you're down 3 and you don't know what happened. They're like a basketball team.
They might do something stupid, but that McCole Hardman is heating up at the right time. And I don't know. I just like the little things that you seem like there should be running the clock out on 3rd and 7. Like Mahomes throws it like 35 yards complete,
right,
with like 3 minutes left.
Well,
like,
he's definitely healthier than he was.
Yeah,
I would just remind you not to trust Andy Reid.
All right.
So what would be your Super Bowl right now?
Right now, I would say Chiefs 49ers.
Interesting. So you think Chiefs beat the Ravens?
Yeah, I do.
That would be a great Super Bowl.
I like it. I don't know. There are a lot of really good matches there. Unfortunately, I don't think your team has the firepower to get there.
Oh, I think I agree with you. You're going to get no argument here. Okay, let's guess the lines.
Let's do it. This is the Shakey's game. We gather our fantasy team, whoever's left.
I'm not going.
Fighting all year. 20-year friendships almost going down the drain, but we go gather at Shakey's. We watch the first game on Saturday, 4:35 Eastern, Buffalo at Houston, both 10-6.
I'm a child of divorce who was fortunate enough to have a happy marriage, and the fantasy league is the single most dysfunctional group dynamic that I have right now. It started again last week. Damashek won our league. He went 8-8. You were furious. You were like attacking him in emails.
I thought I'm having fun because maybe I went too far, or maybe I misread
he got upset.
I lost to the 5-8 playoff team.
You guys are yelling at it. My Monday, it's like it's holiday week. You guys are firing barbs at each other. Christmas is the next day.
Yeah, I know.
We're so dysfunctional.
I don't look at the calendar. It's all very focused when I argue.
I feel like Ham really set the tone with his performance at the draft.
He did, right?
He was just so sarcastic and hostile. And
not very FBI agent-y of him.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't very FBI agent-y. So we have Buffalo playing in Houston. And I think I picked, what did I pick? Texans by 4.5?
I think you said 5.
Texans by 5. I had put this right in the Vegas zone. I didn't know what to make of this game.
I thought I knew exactly what to make with it. I was closer. I said 3. I said these are two 10-6 teams. I'll give Houston the 3-point home field advantage and nothing else because I think Buffalo is actually better, and the odds makers have it at 3.5. I guess that's fair. I really do think Buffalo is better. I think they're going to grind them out. They're going to play a game much like you just described at what Tennessee would have to do if they went to Baltimore. But I think they're better overall.
I need to know exactly what I'm getting from Will Fuller in this game. Because it really does feel like however healthy he is completely determines what's going to happen in a Texans game. And the worst thing would be betting on the Texans thinking he's healthy, and then in the second quarter they just show him on the sideline with 3 people working on his leg.
Right.
And it's like, Will Fuller's out. Great.
Again on Hopkins. So
right.
Now free him up.
I also like Buffalo, and I think they're good. It really scares me to bet on Josh Allen on the road in a playoff game.
I think he's ready.
That violates, I think, 4 of my playoff manifesto rules.
All right.
Not to mention, when was the last time Buffalo won a playoff game?
Well, they didn't win, but they went to Jacksonville, and I think they lost 9-0 2 years ago when they made the playoffs, right?
And it was like a moral victory.
Right. Well, were they getting 9 and they lost a close game?
I think they covered. No, they covered, and that felt like a win.
That's right. They didn't lose 9-0.
But other than that, it's going back into like the 1990s, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
They have a lot of baggage. Houston is my kryptonite team. I've been wrong on them over and over again.
Well, I'm wrong on Buffalo all the time, but now I'm siding with them. I saw enough at them. Maybe that close game against the Patriots now doesn't mean as much as I thought it did last week. But
when are we going to get Corolla's picks? Maybe that'll swing my vote either way. I'm sure.
You made me look for Marshawn Lynch's over/under rushing yards today for about 20 minutes. And I was like, all right, I can't find this, and you're not going to bet it anyway. So what do I care?
I'm surprised you didn't have the Pats money line. So then Saturday night, New England.
It's fun.
I went low but I probably should have gone higher because I think this is where the line will end up. I picked Pats by 3.5, but it probably didn't start there.
I went way high. because they're the Pats, and I kind of figured they'd get this night game. I said 6. It's 4.5. So this one's yours. I think that's fair. They're like, let the public bet it to 6 or 3 or 3.5, whatever they want to do.
Here's the thing, Sal.
Mhm.
If you remove the uniforms and all of our baggage with each team, and you're just talking talent versus talent, matchup versus matchup, this is a nightmare matchup for the Patriots.
Yeah, but you can't do that. You have to consider everything. You
can absolutely run on the Patriots. You can move the ball on the Patriots, and on the other side of the fence, they always seem to have trouble when they play against people that used to be in their infrastructure and understand what they do. This Tennessee team has a lot of people with Patriot ties, including the head coach.
I'm not as do you think Josh Allen can't win on the road? I think Ryan Tannehill is going to have a tough time winning. I think it all comes to a head here. I think I'm going to go back to my analogy with the Chargers last year. I thought they would run all over the Patriots, that defense, which wasn't as good, I don't think, but it didn't happen. You shut them down because you're the Patriots, and it was Foxborough.
I hope you're right. The Derrick Henry part of this really scares me.
You'll see. You're going to convince yourself. You're going to, as a Wednesday, you're going to be like, what's this? Are you kidding me? The line is only 4.5. Come on. We're betting everything.
Let's go to Nephew Kyle as the tiebreaker. Kyle, how worried are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think it's over.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is really dark times right now for the dynasty. It's not good.
On the other hand, you were 11-1. How did you not get the bye? You were 11-1.
Well, I thought it was telling that the last time they didn't get a bye was 2009, because that season reminds me a lot of this season. Where we kind of knew they didn't have it, but the infrastructure, were just counting on it to eventually carry the day. And then the Ravens came in and they ran all over us, and they absolutely kicked our ass. And the game was over in 5 minutes.
That was the Ray Rice.
That was the Ray Rice, and I think this Titans team is wired very similar to them. I think they're delighted that they got the Patriots instead of the Chiefs. They have to be. They have to be. And I'll tell you another thing. And this is, you and I, we watch football every week, and I'm sure a lot of people do. I don't know if they're watching 4 or 5 games at once and all that stuff. By the end of the season, Henry was the best running back in the league. And A.J. Brown was probably like one of the best 7 receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you put him, if you're starting from scratch, who would I want in a playoff game? He'd be one of the first 7 picks. So it's not like this team is like Buffalo with Devin Singletary and, a bunch of guys who you wouldn't even want starting on your fantasy team. They have like real dudes.
Just remember this doom and gloom when you're asking me about the half point.
I hope you're right. I just try to be honest, both with myself and the audience. And
well, being honest isn't the Patriots way. You're going to tighten things up. You're going to change the batteries in the spy cams by Thursday. You're going to have some inside information.
I'm all for the cheat. People think we cheat anyway. I hope we cheat. Whatever we need to do.
People think we cheat.
Any edge we could get, I'm all for. All right, NFC. Wow, I can't believe they split this up.
I know.
This is so weird.
I guess it doesn't really matter because it's not CBS, Fox all the way through, all 4. But Minnesota at New Orleans is the early Sunday game, which that surprises me too. But
I think I hit this one exact. I had Saints by 7.5.
You were close. I said 7. It's 8. Thought that's a little high.
God, they're dying for us to tease them.
Mm-hmm.
They're begging for it, actually.
We are. We're doing it with the Bills. That's our winner.
So wait, what are the Titans right now?
4.5.
So you could tease the Saints to 2 and the Titans to 10.5?
But you're not going to.
I'm not saying I would.
You won't do it. Yeah.
Do you think the Pats can score 27 points in that game?
I don't know if that's going to be. I think 21-16 kind of thing.
So that would have to be Tannehill just completely giving us the game. Because the other
one interception. Yeah.
The other problem with this Pats team, although the field goal kicker has been pretty good lately, but not being able to dominate in the special team side like we have in the past has been another issue.
It's everything, really. It's like, when do you see a illegal shift, or what did you get called for today?
all that stuff. And Ben Watson, I don't know how many dumb, poor time penalties he has this year, but it's at least 6. The one thing I will say, if Edelman looks next week like he did this week, it's going to be really tough for them to win because he doesn't really have anyone else he trusts. Kyle and I want them to unleash Harry. We don't understand why there isn't like 4 reverses in the game and swing passes and just get him the ball and let him break tackles. This is what he did in college.
Yeah, I didn't think about the extra day might have helped Edelman if this was a Sunday game. Like it might have been. Yeah.
I felt like he got a concussion last week and they put him back in. Or he's good enough at pretending to fake the signs that he has one, but he hasn't been the same since he took that hit.
Right.
So I don't know whether it's a shoulder
else for sure. Do you think this Minneapolis Miracle it still resonates, or this is going to be a good game?
Is there a weirder rivalry than Saints Vikings? How many playoff games have we had with these two?
Yeah.
I don't think the Vikings have it.
Yeah, because that was the Favre one, right? That was the crazy Favre game.
Yeah, this is the bounty game.
Right.
And then it was the Miracle.
Right.
Did Booger ever figure out which team won the Miracle game?
Booger,
or no?
They convinced him it was a tie, and that's as far as they're going to get with them.
Somebody was a miracle for one of these two teams. It felt miraculous.
Miracle.
If Cook's not playing, or if Cook's compromised, I don't see the roadmap.
Yeah.
It feels
Their
like
defense is playing so well. I know it's whatever. I mean, they took care of Cousins on Monday, and then Greer they just made look so silly today.
I can't remember, where did we land on? Is it good to be peaking heading into the playoffs or not?
Well, I guess if you're playing week 1 in the playoffs, it's good, right?
Yeah, I guess.
If, maybe Baltimore has a slow first half, 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Isn't it sad we're down to 4 games a week for a couple weeks? Oh.
Philadelphia hosting the Seattle Seahawks. I'm probably off on this, but I just couldn't see any scenario where the Seahawks weren't favored by at least 3. I went Seahawks 3.5.
Wow. No, you said 2.5, right?
Oh, 2.5.
It doesn't matter. I said Philly by 1, and it is actually Philly by 1.
You hit that?
Yeah, I got it.
So we split for the week.
2-2. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't know if you can make Seattle fair. I know they're 7-1 on the road and everything else, and they already beat them this year, but talk about peaking at the right time. I think Philly's kind of figuring it out with whatever that limited pieces they have.
You mean with Boston Scott?
I forgot about him.
I was just going to tell you, if Tessitore is announced in the Pats game, I would be so fucking mad. It's I can't hear. I'm gonna be nervous and tense enough, and then on top of that, if he's in 5th gear the whole game, I'm gonna have to mute it. I'm not gonna be able to handle it.
How much would we have to pay? Let's say, okay, so that guy, we got $91,000 for someone to watch a game with us. Could we do this again and pay Tessitore to come over and call the Eagles game for us?
In our living room? I don't think so. I don't think he probably likes us.
All right.
Maybe it'll be a calmer Tessitore for that one. I don't really love these games. There was other variations of round 1 that I thought were way more intriguing than what we ended up with.
Well, NFC did their job, I think. What do you mean? What were you looking for?
I guess it's just the fact that the Eagles are actually in the playoffs is a bummer.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're just not good. Your division was awful.
Yeah.
It was really a dumpster fire, and somebody had to win, and somebody did. And the Eagles made it. They showed a lot of heart. Kudos to them. I love the Doug Peterson coaching job. I love the whole next man up mentality, but it's the playoffs. Like, we only have 12 playoff teams. I just can't believe they're hosting a playoff game.
All right. Well, they were 9-7, right? They weren't 5-11.
No, I know.
Cried about this all
I just don't think they're very good.
How many times did the AFC South winner go 9-7 to take the division? Like, we didn't hear a word about it. Don't make me defend the Eagles. I hate them.
You just defended the Eagles. America heard you.
We'll cut that out too, Kyle.
And then Texans Bills I wish like the Texans were playing somebody that had more of a shootout possibility than that. Pats Titans would be the best of these 4 games, I think.
That'll be fun. Yeah, Texans Bills was set in stone like week 9, I think. By like Halloween, that was set.
All right, let's do Parent Corner. As always, Parent Corner is brought to you by CarMax. You can get started at CarMax.com and explore 50,000 CarMax certified vehicles nationwide with search filters that make it easy to narrow down options, especially the ability to search by budget. Nobody knows this better than nephew Kyle. This is how he found the Ford Mustang that is now a major part of his life. Did you name the Ford Mustang yet?
I did, but more importantly, I got a pair of dice.
You did?
Yeah.
A dice like hanging from the rearview mirror? Oh, that's
little gold dice.
That's fantastic. What'd you name the car?
It's Maxine. There's no other name.
Maxine.
There's not Carmela, but I'm going with Maxine.
Kyle found Maxine at CarMax. They ruled out millions of vehicles with their vetting process to select only the best to become CarMax certified. Kyle could even look at the Mustang's vehicle history report on CarMax.com. Did not have the name Maxine in the vehicle history report, and learn about the car. All that stuff. He went and test drove it. He picked it out. He signed up for the additional CarMax 90-day 4,000 limited warranty, but then also he got Max Care too. Signed up for that. He appreciated that he had options based on the deductible and mileage that felt right for him. We'll talk a little bit more about that car after we do Parent Corner. Sal, you have the floor.
All right. Well, I might go right to Christmas morning. I got a 14-year-old, very appreciative of everything, and the other two are kind of bratty. 12-year-old and 6-year-old tomorrow. 5-year-old turned 6. And they open like 15 presents each. You know, we're very blessed. We have a lot of cousins and everything. So the gifts are coming in, all say from Santa on it. You know, Santa this, Santa that. Everyone believes, not the 14-year-old, but the 12-year-old still believes. And the now 6-year-old for sure believes. And all we need is a picture of them by the tree after everything. And after they open these gifts, I'm like, all right, let's get a picture. And they're like, but the two younger ones like, Dad, enough already. Just get out of our faces. And I was like, you sons of bitches, you. I can't even count how much money and how much wrapping and everything else goes on. And I was like, hey, we got you all these gifts. The least you could do is take a picture. And the 12-year-old is like, you didn't get them for us. Santa did. I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. I'm blowing the lid right off. You're 12 years old. You can't do it. I'm not doing. I have to tell him. First of all, this kid has had access to porn. He's seen porn online. All right. And he believes in that and Santa. I don't think there's an overlap. I don't think you can believe in both. I really don't. I don't think there should be one day where you witness pornography by accident and believe also in Santa. And I was ready. And she was holding me back, my wife, like Mick was holding Rocky back when the statue was unveiled and he was going after Clubber Lang outside there. And I was going to blow the whole Santa thing, but I showed some restraint and I held back and we got the picture and it's a shitty picture and shitty kids. There you go.
Happy holidays.
You didn't get us anything. What do you say to that?
It is funny to have the holidays where you have a lot more time with your family.
Yeah.
And then you need a holiday from the holiday.
Right. Yeah. Can you guys go to school on December 26th? Because that's where I'm dropping you off.
The best thing my son and I did was we watched the entire season 4 of Friday Night Tykes on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Have you watched this show?
No.
It's incredible.
Friday Night Tykes.
Friday Night Tykes.
Show. What is this?
No. You watch one and you'll watch all 10 in like 4 hours.
All right.
It's like youth football in Texas.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
I'll see that.
It's
Peanut Butter Falcon was a good recommendation. We'll get to another one afterwards, but thank you for that.
Friday Night Tykes season 4. It's just the coaching staffs. Just
season 4.
Yeah, this is the season my son wanted to watch. The coaching staffs could not be more inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
There's rivalries within the coaching staffs. There's people yelling at each other. They're dropping F-bombs and MFs and all this stuff in front of these 11-year-olds. And my son loved this offensive coordinator. One of the team, the head coach kept second guessing the offensive coordinator, and the offensive coordinator was like, just let me call the plays, man.
Oh, great.
Just let me stop breathing down my neck. So then my son just walks around and now imitates the offensive coordinator from season 4 of Friday Night Tykes. So congrats to that guy. That's not my parent corner though. Last year we went back, the Simmons family, my dad's family. My dad has 6 brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They celebrate Christmas every year because, their parents are dead and they've just very close Irish family.
Mm-hmm.
So last year we actually went back. We surprised my dad and we crashed the Yankee Christmas swap. We brought gifts and they had some extra gifts. So we were all in it. And it goes around, and Ben, a year ago, gets this gift that includes these scratch cards. And he's all excited about the scratch cards. So it goes through the whole order. And then after, as you know, the Yankee swap, then you count down in reverse. And if you don't like your gift, you can swipe it as it goes from like
this
23
white elephant. You call it Yankee swap?
or whatever. We call it Yankee swap. It's white elephant. So it's going backwards from 23 to 1. He's holding his scratch cards like he's just about to do it. And with like 5 spots to go, my cousin Lauren, it's her turn. And she goes over and swaps gifts with Ben.
Oh, no.
It takes the scratch cards, which ethically was pretty dubious, I felt like. Right. I think like maybe under age 13, you kind of don't take the kid's gift. Would have been my rule. Takes the gift. So now Ben has no scratch cards. And Ben's devastated, but pretending he's not. But more importantly, knowing him and knowing that he can fly off the handle, I'm not worried he's gonna like have like fly off the handle and start being like the offensive coordinator of Friday Night Tykes and just go nuts. He reins it in. Then on the way home, he's like, I'm never going to Yankee swap again. Sucks. I hate Cousin Lord. That's bullshit. And he's just furious. So we calm him down. So then he's talked about it for the whole year about how he wants to go back to Yankee swap and take Lauren's gift.
Right.
So this has been
how old is cousin Lauren?
She's like in her mid-30s.
Oh, great. She's your cousin.
It's my cousin. Yeah. She's in her like early 30s. So for a year, he's like, it's vacillated between I'm never going back. No, I hate the Simmons family. To I want to go back. I'm going to take Lauren's gift.
Right.
Because he's a maniac. So then
this is why he's ordering knives on Amazon. Yeah.
So he tried to bring those on the plane. So we didn't know we were going to go back. And then last minute, we decided we'd go back. So we go back. But the catch is cousin Lauren, she's not at Yankee swap. So now Ben can't get revenge.
Right.
Yankee swap happens. Lauren's brother ends up getting scratch cards. Ben, on the way back, takes the scratch cards from Lauren's brother and gets the revenge and is acting like this is the 86 Red Sox going back into Shea and taking the World Series. Gets the scratch cards back and is now like riding high ever since because he is a lunatic.
That's great.
So yeah, the little nice holiday family story for you.
And I'm going to guess, under $2.50 won on those scratch cards.
Won $2 out of like $50 of scratch cards.
Good call.
So there you go. Yeah. Gotta love the holidays. A couple heartwarming holiday stories for you.
Awesome.
That was Parent Corner presented by CarMax. Don't forget, CarMax.com. You can start there to explore 50,000 CarMax certified vehicles nationwide. At CarMax, the price is based on the car, not your negotiating skills. There's never any haggling or pressure to buy. They even have a 7-day money-back guarantee, which Kyle took advantage of. A full week to make sure you like every little thing about the car that you just got. Limited warranty as well, which covers 90 days or 4,000 miles, the major systems on the vehicle, whichever comes first. And you can also select an optional Max Care service plan for additional coverage. And you can be like Kyle with Maxine. Check it out at CarMax.com. What do you got to plug?
Well, first of all, real quick, Uncut Gems. I'm not going to trash it. First of all, great podcast, probably the podcast of the year. You, Garnett, Sandler. I love the movie. I was so excited by it. I thought they made every scene intense, even if it didn't need to be. It reminded me of like from the helicopter, when the helicopter's chasing Henry Hill. From that point on, that's what Uncut Gems was. And like I just loved him owing money to everyone and pawning everything. If you haven't seen it, I'm probably going to ruin a little bit, but the bet killed me. The bet at the end just killed me.
The parlay.
Francesa, not good.
So are we going? Let's go spoiler alert until my daughter comes on later in this podcast.
There you go. Spoiler alert. Just for 2 minutes, I'm just going to say I can't believe, why don't they run this by someone for 10 grand? They could have a consultant say that this is not the way you could do it. We would have read the script for free, right? And we would have said, no, you can't have someone make $120,000 bet at Mohegan Sun, which probably takes a $2,500 minimum on a straight bet, let alone a parlay with Kevin Garnett to win the tip. for him to get over like 9.5 rebounds and for the Celtics to win the game, that's stacking. That's Joe House like. That's what he likes to do. You can't. It just took me out.
No, it
of
was
it.
worse than that. I thought,
wasn't
it also you had to win the first half too?
Did they have to win the first half? Yeah. I think he had to win the first half too. The Celtics.
It was something like Celtics win the first half and the game, which I don't think is allowed, right?
No, none of it is. It's because no one's betting the other way. There's no other money to take from that.
Right.
Oh, it just drove me nuts. It drove me nuts.
Well, this goes back to my dream for the last 10 years of starting a sports movie consultant service, which the reason you would never actually start one is because you'd only be used one time a year. And I don't think you'd make enough money to survive. You wouldn't be able to pay an assistant even. But this is where they would call the Ringer Sports Movie Consultant Service and be like, hey, does this parlay look good to you guys? And be like, actually, you can't really do that. Yeah. You're not allowed to do that.
And you wouldn't bet Garnett to win the tip. It doesn't matter that he's even taller than whoever he's tipped. Like, that's such a, okay, I was on board with the whole idea that this gemstone, gave him superpowers during the game. I was fine.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. And just make the gem worth $2 million and then make that the bet. Not some crazy parlay that doesn't exist.
Well, I have some terrible news for you. Speaking of movies.
What is it?
I've done a 180 on The Irishman.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You think it's too short? That's a 180.
I watched it again.
No, you didn't.
I did.
What do you have the time for this?
I did. Well, I had the time because I flew cross country from Boston to LA yesterday.
And which country? Russia?
I flew from Iceland to LA yesterday. Yeah, I wanted to give it. I had enough people in my life who I respect who was adamant that the movie has to be watched where you're not doing anything else other than concentrating 100% on the movie.
I felt like I did that.
Yeah. I picked up a lot of stuff the second time, and it's still, could they have shaved a little time off? Sure. But I get it now. I really liked it the second time, and I get it now. And I've reconsidered my take.
Well, your take was that it was too long. So it was still too long. Right?
My take was that it was an hour too long, and I didn't like the ending.
Yeah.
But the ending made more sense the second time. I think there was so much going on the first time. I think my brain just got overloaded.
Really?
And I needed to really concentrate. With the CGI, and I was getting I just wasn't concentrating on the right things.
Do you think Jimmy Hoffa should have bet that Garnett would have under 9.5 rebounds? Or?
Pacino's really good.
Yeah, he's solid.
It's weird that Pesci became the guy that everybody's pointing to as the one with the best Academy Award chance, because I actually thought Pacino has some great scenes, but I think that this will be a movie that 5 years from now we will both have seen at least 10 times.
Well, I don't think it's possible.
Why?
Let's see. It takes 8 months to watch it once. So could we see it 10 times in 5 years? Yeah, maybe we could.
It's got a lot of good scenes.
All right. Yeah, that's what happens when you make a 6-hour movie. It's going to have.
It is what it is. I think I'm in. I can't. It's a rare 180 for me, but I think I was too hasty the first time, and I don't think I watched it correctly. I did not watch it in the right setting the first time. So
I will watch it again because it's an important movie.
It really is important, and there's more going on than just the movie itself. But it really is when you're talking about the trilogy and the Goodfellas, Casino, and then this movie, and the whole aging thing, and where Scorsese is in his life, and where De Niro and Pacino are in their lives, in real life, and putting them in that.
You talk about that trilogy. This is Godfather 3 compared to those two, right?
This has really good scenes.
Wow.
I gotta say, I was
better than Casino, because I know you're not touching Goodfellas with this.
No, I think it's a logical third.
Yeah.
The more I look at it, the CGI still bothers me and still seems fake to me.
Right.
And the stomping scene is unforgivable.
They're right. They can't do that.
The in general, it just is never convincing. You can never really tell what De Niro's age is other than his hair's darker.
Yeah.
But you definitely watch it again, because there's some stuff that you and I really, really like that is in this movie that I think the more you see it, the more you would kind of call back. Even the wives, the cigarette smoking in the
Yeah,
car.
no, I know it all looked good and it was fun and it was great seeing them together. But I just thought it was made 10 years too late.
Well, that might be true though. I'm not arguing that, but I'm glad it exists. I think it's going to win the Oscar.
All right. I'll look at it again. Damn it. I thought I could have 4 hours.
Just do one. Do like a 10 at night when everyone's in sleep. It just shut everything out and just put 3.5 hours into it.
10 at night to 4:30 in the morning. All right, I'll do it.
All right, Sal.
Lock it in Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 5:30 Eastern. I would have been champ again if not for your damn Patriots. I had them on a money line parlay.
I'm sorry.
Of course, that's the story. It's Todd Furman. And that's that. Oh, against all odds, we're going to go over a lot of season-long prop bets, individual players. I'm going to prove to you that betting under on every individual player prop is profitable if you have the time. Maybe just do it next time you're watching. What do you call it? The Irishman.
I'll do bet the props on the Irishman. I'll go under on all of them.
There you go. That's where
Cuz, great job in 2019 by you.
Good job by you, buddy.
All right, don't go yet because my daughter is coming on to do a special 2019 year-end edition of For Realsies. I'm stepping in for Liz Kelly, doing it on this pod. All the stuff that mattered in teen culture. It is Parent Corner come to life. But before we do that, I wanted to tell you and remind you the rewatchables. Monday afternoon, Quentin Tarantino, the first of a 3-part Tarantino trilogy on the rewatchables. 3 movies that he picked that we broke down. It's all coming Monday afternoon. Subscribe to the rewatchables right now. Right, you can do it as you're listening to this podcast. All right, let's bring in my daughter. All right, my daughter is here. Since we did Parent Corner all year on this Sal podcast, I thought we'd have an actual kid on here. My daughter Zoe, who does For Realsies, usually on the Ringer Dish feed, but we're gonna, since it's the end of 2019, we're gonna do it here. All right, so Rember and I did Who Won the Year.
Who'd you
on the
choose?
Podcast. We picked who do we end up? Kawhi Leonard beat Zendaya in the finals.
Oh, really?
And Zendaya had beaten Billie Eilish in an earlier bracket.
I'd like to know your reasoning because I was going to choose Zendaya for my person. It's Zendaya.
What did I say?
Zendaya.
I was going with Zendaya this whole year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. Continue.
Well, there you go. You have Billie Eilish?
Yeah, I chose Billie Eilish.
What is the reasoning?
Because she's just been the break star of this year.
Why?
Like, everyone knows who Billie Eilish is, and her music has been so influential. And she's a teenager, so she's more relatable to at least people within my age group. And everyone loves her music. She's just like a universal artist, and she's cool.
I was surprised that she seems to really, the stuff she's doing seems to really resonate with kids.
Because people have so many issues with insecurities, and she kind of just like cuts that out of her music. Her style, she doesn't use her appearance as what makes her interesting. It's all about her music. And with her outfits and stuff, like she wears outfits that are 3 times too big for her, so she doesn't show her figure and things like that. So I just find her really cool.
Okay. What was your favorite Billie Eilish song?
When the Party's Over, probably.
Do you think she has legs? What's her career look like 10 years from now? No, I don't mean like physical legs. Like how Taylor Swift kept reinventing herself, and
yeah, well, Taylor Swift
30s.
had like some dropout years where things just kind of went downhill for her.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because Billie's huge right now. Like, she's huge. I feel like she might end up taking a break and then like making a really sick album and coming out with it in a couple years. Because I don't think she's just going to push things out and to keep herself in the loop. I feel like she's someone who cares about her music too much to do that. So she might take a break and make some really good music and then come out with it being strong rather than just producing half music.
I do worry about the burnout potential with her, because it seems like she's been going strong for a couple of years now.
That's true.
Yeah. No breakout stars for you?
TikTok?
Any TikTok stars?
No, I don't like the fact that there are like celebrities within TikTok or people that have the hype. Like, TikTok is supposed to be random, and I don't like that there are these people that are now becoming bigger within it. Like influencers.
Who? Give me one person who became bigger.
Charli D'Amelio.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
And then Lil Huddy.
Little Huddy?
Yeah. It was like Musically, there was Jacob Sartorius and like Baby Ariel and people like that. They were the influential bigger celebrities within the app.
Yeah.
And we were avoiding that for like a good amount of time with TikTok. And then people started getting the hype, and I don't like it as much anymore.
Well, one person who hasn't become big within the app is your brother, Ben.
Which really doesn't make sense to me, quite honestly. His TikToks are so... I don't even know what to say.
I'm totally happy with him not having followers. You have Snapchat as your app of the year.
Yeah.
But TikTok as kind of the breakout app of the year. Even though TikTok's been around, this is like the first huge TikTok year.
Yeah. Because Musical.ly was like it's stepping stone.
Yeah.
And then TikTok came around, which is like the better version of Musical.ly and kind of Vine combined. So it was Musical.ly and Vine together. And now it's like this super app.
How would you explain TikTok to people listening right now who either have kids or who don't understand what TikTok is in like 2 sentences?
Can I say it as if they knew what Vine was?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically the extended version of Vine where you can have up to 60-second videos and you can use your own sound and like make your own little skits, or you can use the app's noises that they already have and make your own skits to it. Like you can make memes out of these sounds that they have. They can be sounds from movies or sounds from TV shows or memes or whatever it may be. And you can take these noises and then make it your own and like percept it.
But you used to like Snapchat more because that allows you to...
They're completely different apps because that's more of a social app where I communicate with people, and TikTok's entertainment, I would say.
Where you communicate in secret with people.
In secret?
Yeah, I was sat next to you on an airplane yesterday and all you were doing was sending weird selfie pictures to your friends.
It's because iMessage is kind of more irrelevant now. Like I only use it to communicate with family members.
Yeah.
And Snapchat's just a lot easier and faster. And I do the 24-hour saving chats so I can remember what was happening. You can save your chats and then it will like, that's the max that you can save it to.
Yeah.
But I've talked to my friends about this and it's just a lot easier to communicate with people because it's so much quicker.
No, I didn't say it.
Oh.
You thought Kyle was
I thought Kyle was judging me.
I would say, how often do you have to say, I forgot what you just said, though?
I save all my chats.
What did you say? Oh, okay. Fine.
I save them so I remember what I said, unless it's like a picture.
How many times can you send a stupid selfie to one of your friends and then have them send a stupid selfie of themselves
It
back
can
to
be
you
a lot.
before that gets boring, though?
I mean, if it gets boring, then you just leave one or the other unopened. Someone's mildly hurt and you move on with your life.
What about explain the Snapchat streaks to me?
Oh, see, I don't even understand streaks that much either because it's not like it benefits your Snapchat in any way. It's just, it's a number and you'll send like an S in the morning and an S at the night in a picture and it will like count every day that you do that. And I guess the point is just to like have a long streak. I don't understand it either. I don't do streaks.
It's idiotic.
It's idiotic. I don't think streaks are smart.
Is there a time with Snapchat where people just grow out of it? What's the age range?
Grow out of it.
Kyle, you don't use Snapchat, do you?
Long gone.
Yeah, but did you use it at one point in your life?
Yeah.
Okay.
When it was like brand new.
See, I was talking to Liz Kelly about this, and her younger brother uses Snapchat like all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how old her brother was, but he was like within the older of Gen Z.
Well, for 6 hours on an airplane yesterday, you vacillated between Instagram and Snapchat while you also watched a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't see you read one page of a book.
Okay. We were going to purchase a book at the store and then we did.
I just worry about your generation.
I worry about
Does your
my generation too.
read books?
I read books.
If you saw somebody holding a book, would you be like, what's that? Why do you have that?
I actually was complimented by my teacher about how much I read. So.
Oh, God. Well, if you're reading a lot for your class, that's a sad sign for your class.
Okay. Jesus.
Your breakout entertainment app of the year, Disney Plus. What an addition to the Simmons family.
Disney Plus is just incredible, and I'm so thankful that it is a thing.
What's been your favorite thing about it? All the old shows?
Yeah, because it's so nostalgic. Like 2020 is around the corner, and the generation's ending, quote unquote. And it has all my shows that I watched from when I was really little. The shows that I was banned from watching, like Jessie, because I was too sassy. Wizards of Waverly Place. I've binged through all of it. Good Luck, Charlie. Incredible.
Yeah, but if we had let you keep watching Jessie, imagine how sassy
Ben
would have become.
Ben. What do you mean,
Oh, wait,
Ben?
that didn't work at all. Wait, you don't have a generation yet.
What do you mean?
Generation doesn't form until it's like 20.
I don't know.
You're not
on
you're
TikTok,
not in a generation yet.
On TikTok, all it says is like the generation's ending, your childhood's over.
Oh,
Boomers. But one show that Disney Plus has just brought to my life. I was never like a religious watcher of the High School Musicals. Like I watched them maybe once or twice, but I was never like, that wasn't a huge part of my childhood. I just never watched it. I don't know why. I probably would have loved it. But High School Musical, the musical, the series has become probably my favorite TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
How many episodes of that?
I mean, I've watched all of them. They come out like weekly or every 4 to 5 days or something. But
well, you've seen every rom-com ever. You've run out of rom-coms. There was some rom-com on the plane. What was it called? Plus One?
Yeah.
And you just saw the title and you knew exactly what was going to happen. So I'm proud. You're only 14.
I've read
You've
the
already
movie.
figured it out.
Yeah. I know all the little anecdotes and things that go on within the movie. I just can read them now.
I told you what movie to do.
What do you mean?
When you write your first movie.
Oh, yeah. We did talk about that on the live stream.
2 ninth graders who make a pact that 20 years from now, if they're not married, they have to marry each other. And then it goes back and forth between the 15-year-olds and then the older adult actors.
Yeah, I feel like that really would be a successful movie.
That probably was a movie. I'm probably stealing that idea
maybe
from a movie
are,
that already
but
happened.
I feel like, here's the thing. Netflix needs to get on a movie that will meet something like that. Because I feel like there's always a little twist that I'm not completely interested in. Like, it will be a basketball cook or like the tall girl. She's just super tall. Like, I feel like I need more of just a completely basic love story movie.
What's your last favorite Netflix movie? The one, that terrible one in the snowstorm? What was that one? What was the one where there was it was snow day?
What? Noelle?
Let It Snow.
Oh.
Yeah, Let It Snow.
Yeah. That is a good one.
You watched that movie like 4 times.
Yeah. But that's not an all-around year movie where I can just watch it like mid-summer. I need a movie that I can just watch 24/7. That's why The Kissing Booth was such a huge deal for me, because I could watch it whenever. And that movie's so easy to watch. I could half watch, know exactly what's going on. The first time I saw it, I read the movie, but I need more. Like, I need more like that. That's so easy.
So Netflix should be making these like every 3 weeks.
Yeah. Just keep pouring them out. I feel like it's not that hard. I mean, it is hard, but like, you don't need to make your plot so intricate for me. Like, you can just make it super basic and I'll enjoy the movie.
Maybe they should make a movie about this girl who finds a boyfriend and she just tortures him by watching terrible movies with him every Friday night.
Whoa, I did not need to be attacked there.
Netflix, you had listed Stranger Things, Kissing Booth, Big Mouth, Alexa and Katie, To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
And the sequel that's coming around on February 12th.
But then the sequel is the next big one.
Yeah, February 12th. I've never been more excited. I'm honestly like literally so excited.
What is going to be the sequel?
See, I didn't.
To All the Other Boys I've Loved Before? To More of the Boys I've Loved Before? I don't understand. How is there a sequel to that?
I mean, it kind of left on a closing note, which I didn't read the second book. I read the first book, which was the movie. So I don't know what's going to happen from there. But it ended on a closing note. Like, they were on the lacrosse field. They kissed, and it just ended with like a wide shot.
So it's continuing their story.
I guess, but like, I feel like there needs to be that hook. The first movie had that hook, and I don't know what they're going to do for the second one.
So Netflix or Disney Plus, you can only have one for 2019. Which you pick?
I can only have one.
Yeah.
But I like things from each. But
if I told you you could do the year over again, but you only have one of those two, which one was more important? I would say Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix, because I had that throughout the majority of the year. I didn't have Disney Plus the
I think
full
when
year.
you get mad at my questions.
Because that's like an annoying question.
Well,
I like
I'm
both.
asking you to pick it up.
See, but here's the difference between Netflix and Disney Plus. When I'm watching Disney Plus, it's like a relay of everything, my childhood, like memories.
Right.
And Netflix is more of like a mature show, I would say, or like a mature audience. It's
You
older
also
people.
you watched the one where the kids came back from the school bus trip and nobody in the town was left, and then they had to form their own society.
Oh my! Oh,
What was
I
that
love
one
that
called?
show.
That show wasn't totally appropriate.
What do you mean? Yeah, it was.
What was that show called?
Wasn't it The Society? Wasn't it
Yeah,
Society?
The Society. Yeah, you like that show.
Dang, I can't believe I forgot about that show. That show was incredible. I blew through that.
Props
to my friends for making me watch it. That show's great.
You were upset that there were no good horror movies in 2019.
Yeah. See, for the Simmons family, and I'm sure a bunch of families out there, horror movies are our staple. That's what we do together. That's one of the many ways we bond.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like there was a kicker this year that was like, oh my God, that movie
It seems
was terrifying.
like there's a lot of ones coming though.
Yeah,
starting
that's
like
what
The
I was
Grudge is
saying.
coming out in January.
I feel like 2019 was kind of like the poop year for horror movies, and they were giving us a little break because they're going to slam us in the next couple of years, is what I'm hoping. I saw that there's a potential another Annabelle coming out.
Oh my God.
That's so exciting to me.
I liked when we were on the plane and Ben was watching Annabelle.
I was too.
Oh, you were watching it too?
Yeah.
I like when he watches horror movies on the plane. Like he's not
Oh,
enough of a psycho.
No, but it's amazing to watch horror movies on the plane because there's like that little turbulence and there's enough people around you so that you're not completely terrified and feel comfortable watching it on your own. It's a good experience.
So was ninth grade, how is it different than how movies represent ninth grade or TV shows?
Well, I feel like I have a different viewpoint on this because I go to an untraditional high school.
Yeah.
But a universal comment that I could make, I guess, is like the seniors aren't mean to the freshmen. Like,
So you think that's a movie gimmick?
That's just a movie thing. There's a divide, obviously.
The seniors kind of don't really care about the freshmen.
No, they just don't talk to us. Like, it's not like they're being rude. They just don't care.
You're not on their radar.
No. Like, they wouldn't put their time and energy into tormenting a freshman. It doesn't work like that. Maybe it was like that.
In Kyle's high school, it was like that. He tortured all the freshmen.
Oh, I got tortured. My first
Maybe
day.
that's more of like a, I don't know. But that doesn't exist anymore, at least within my school and my friends'
So you're
schools.
disappointed there's not more hazing and intimidation?
No, I'm not disappointed. I'm just saying that was inaccurate. Like, I was afraid of the seniors going into high school, and they're super. I don't know why I was afraid of the seniors at my high school, but
well, you had that because you were playing soccer and you're in the varsity team and the
Yeah.
seniors, that whole dynamic. But then everyone eventually, it doesn't matter what grade you're in.
Yeah,
once the
it really
season
doesn't.
starts.
It's fine.
You got used to it.
Yeah.
What else? That's it? That's the only other
I
thing?
mean, I feel like that was the huge thing that I was looking for
Why did you want to talk about cancel culture?
because that's been huge this year. Like, James Charles, probably one of the kings of YouTube for a good year, just completely under the radar, gone now.
What did he do?
He had that whole controversy with Tati.
How would I know what that was?
I just say it.
What was the controversy?
Him and Tati were best friends,
Yeah.
and she had this sugar hair vitamin company that he said he wouldn't promote on his channel because he just didn't want to promote something that wouldn't be appropriate for his viewers. But then he promoted her highest competitor's company on his story because they helped him get a VIP pass at Coachella because he was in a crisis,
Yeah.
quote unquote, and needed a VIP pass. And they offered to give him a pass if he promoted them. So then Tati got mad because that's her biggest competitor. And he said he wouldn't promote her item because it wasn't appropriate for his viewers.
And this got him canceled?
Yeah, this got him canceled.
What is going on? How is that a cancel?
Because Tati, and also,
So everyone sided with Tati.
yeah, because she made these videos and
How do you
she's
spell Tati?
Tati.
T-A-T-I. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But she made all these videos, and also she talked about some controversial things that James did where he was hitting on straight men and stuff because they were so close. He did the stuff in front of her and never thought that it would like come back, I guess. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just saying this is what I heard.
This is what?
Yeah, this is the story.
This is the story.
And it
you have
all-
no idea if it's true.
Yeah.
This is the alleged story.
Yes, and it all came out once they were enemies.
And that was it. And everybody sided with her.
Yeah.
So he got
because of all this
canceled. Who else
stuff,
got
And
canceled?
now James is gone. I mean, multiple people have gotten canceled but come back. Like,
So it sounds like real life because this is
Yeah.
happening with adults too
'Cause-
in real culture.
yeah, Tana Mojo.
Oh.
She
I can't believe what happened to her.
she had TanaCon, which went completely downhill.
TanaCon? What was that?
Trashed her
TanaCon?
for a little bit. I don't really know the full story about TanaCon, but TanaCon was like an event she was having, meet and greet sort of thing, and she promised all of this stuff. It was almost like Fire Festival, but much smaller in TanaCon version.
Right, I assume.
And she like just kind of screwed all these people over. And
oh no!
Everyone was really mad about it, and she got canceled for a little bit, but came back. Jeffree Star gets canceled all the time. He got involved with the James Charles controversy, like saying bad things about James, and they kind of got into it. And Shane sided with Jeffree, so it was just like this whole YouTuber drama.
What is it about your generation that everybody wants to be some sort of celebrity online?
Because it looks appealing from the outside. Yeah.
Even we were in Boston and you hopped on the For Realsies Instagram account and you were just doing live Q&As with people.
But people have fun. It's fun to do that.
I never thought you would like do stuff like that though.
Why?
I don't know. Just never seemed, but you just like were bored and you just started talking to people on Newbury
Well,
Street.
I just started asking, they started asking questions and I wanted to answer their questions because I got bored. It's easy, but I could see as people on YouTube just like shooting their shot because there's nothing holding you back. It's like it's not like you're going to be punished if you don't get famous, so why not try, you know?
Right.
And if something sticks and they get views, then it's like almost this addictive
So you like
thing.
the interactions, you don't care about the
No, I don't care about
building an audience part.
No, but that's what people look for.
Yeah. That's what like your
because,
crazy brother would look for.
Yeah, nowadays like people make a lot of money off of YouTube, like a lot of money. And just from creating videos and editing and stuff, which is extremely hard. It's like it doesn't seem as hard as it is if you were someone like that. But they make like good amounts of money. And it's kind of crazy how easy it can be to distribute.
So that's why you're doing live chats on your For Realsies
No,
account?
that's not why I am, but that's why
Should
it can
you
be
start
appealing
hawking
to others.
ToddyCon?
ToddyCon.
For Realsies Con?
TanaCon.
TanaCon?
You're so silly.
Do For Realsies Con.
For Realsies Con, where I can screw a bunch of people over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a good idea.
I guess the only other thing is you had the same boyfriend for 5 months though.
Was that a bad?
I don't know. Kyle, are we surprised that this is still going?
Are you surprised?
I'm staying out of this.
Kyle's staying out of it.
Rude.
What's rude about it?
I'd like your opinion.
I'm both of y'all's producers.
You went from you weren't into boys at all to all of a sudden you've had a boyfriend for 5 months.
I wasn't not into boys at all.
Well,
I
you
just
didn't
didn't
want a
talk to you
boyfriend.
about
That's
it.
what she told you, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk to you about that.
I'm finding. My big lesson in 2018 was my daughter hid stuff for me.
It's not hiding stuff. Would you go to your parents every day and update them on your love life? We spent a lot of time
in the car.
Yeah, but that's like an awkward thing to bring up. You're kind of an intimidating guy.
Says who?
Your blue eyes says who.
Icy.
It's scary. I'm afraid to have serious conversations with you sometimes because it's like more intimidating than it is to have with mom. Actually, that's not true.
Well, I'm not crazy like mom though.
No, I know. She's scary.
She flies off the handle. I'm always in control. We've had good car rides this year. I only got mad at you once.
Oh, yeah. I don't like when you get mad at me in the car because I can't escape. I just have to look out the window, sadly, until
it's
we get
usually
home.
justified.
Yeah, that's true. But you're an overreactor sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
we haven't had a lot of car rides lately, so I never know what's going on with you because
I know.
your club season ended.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
We have...
So what are your big predictions for 2020 before we go?
I feel like TikTok's going to blow up even more and then blow over, and they're going to make some sort of update to the app that everyone's not going to really like, and then it's going to kind of get less popular because of that update. Unless they're smart. We'll see how they handle it. I feel like Instagram's kind of going down under, at least for me. Not down under because people still use it to post pictures and stuff, but it's like not as much of an exploring entertainment. It's more
You're
of like
just talking about for teens, not for everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I feel
you feel like people have gravitated towards Snapchat and TikTok.
Yeah, because Instagram isn't becoming an entertainment source, at least for me anymore. Like I don't really go on the explore page and stuff like that. Like I only use it to look at my friends' posts and stuff.
Is there anything on the horizon that you feel like could bubble up?
I don't know.
Fortnite?
No, Fortnite's dead. Fortnite's gone.
Dead. I was kidding.
Gladly. I feel like that stage was far too long. Some people still use it though.
What's going to be the big video game this year? I don't
Do you
feel
think
like
they'll
that's
come out with something
materialized
new?
yet.
I mean, some of us are in love with Madden right now and screaming at the TV upstairs.
Oh my God.
It's terrifying. He sounds like a truck driver. Like it's so toxic.
You're going to miss him when you go off to college in
No,
3 years.
I know I'll
4
miss
years.
him and he'll miss me
You're
too.
going to be living on some dorm floor where nobody's going to be screaming like a maniac for half the night.
And this poor random kid that he was playing with, he was screaming at him like he would scream at you if you messed up. Like traumatizing this like poor 9.5-year-old.
Oh my God. Yeah. We gotta basically
We have to control
take video
that.
games out of his room, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So no more predictions for 2020. What was your celebrity
No.
relationship of the year, just out of curiosity?
That's a toughie. I'm shipping Natalie and David right now. They're not dating, but they're dating.
You're predicting it.
Yeah.
Okay. There you
There's been a lot of signs, unless they're teasing us and over exaggerating it, making it seem like they're dating for the clout. But I really have a feeling they're dating.
All right. We have to go. So follow, even though you haven't been posting nearly enough, you're going to post more in 2020?
Yeah.
You're just
if that's
using it
what the
more
people
for like
want.
these.
These live
live
videos, but I
thingies.
feel like that's more interactive and interesting.
All right. Well, for realsies.
For real.
Thanks, Zoe. You had a
Thank you
good
for having me.
2019. I'm proud of you.
I did. Thank you.
Good job.
I feel like 2020 even numbers will be more fun.
Okay.
We'll see.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it for the BS. Coming up on Tuesday, we're going to have a little special Parent Corner 2019 Greatest Hits Edition. And then one more big podcast this week. Don't forget about the rewatchables, the Tarantino trilogy starting on Monday. And then Book of Basketball 2.0 is coming back strong starting next week. So that's all happening. Thanks to CarMax. Thanks to State Farm. Thanks to Nfc Kyle. And we will see you later in the week.